Welcome to the channel, The Coin Lore Vault. Imagine finding a simple penny in your pocket change, something you'd barely glance at before tossing into a jar, only to discover later that this tiny piece of copper could be worth $32 million. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what happened with certain 2015 Lincoln Pennies, coins that were minted just a few years ago and could still be circulating in your wallet right now. Around the world, collectors are frantically searching through their change, hoping to find one of these incredibly rare specimens. And the story behind why this particular penny became so valuable is absolutely mind-blowing. This isn't just any ordinary penny from 2015. This is a coin that carries a secret, a minting error so rare that only a handful are believed to exist. And when we tell you what makes it special, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. So what makes the 2015 Lincoln Penny worth a staggering $32 million? The answer lies in an extraordinary minting error that occurred at the Denver Mint, an error so unusual that experts initially thought it was impossible. You see, during the production of these pennies, something went catastrophically wrong with the planchet preparation process. The blank metal discs that would become pennies were struck on the wrong type of metal entirely, instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition that modern pennies use. A few blanks intended for dimes somehow made it into the penny press, creating what numismatists call a wrong planchet error of epic proportions. These rogue pennies were struck with Lincoln's portrait and the memorial design, but they were created on dime planchets made of a copper-nickel alloy, making them not only the wrong size and weight but also the wrong color and composition. When the first specimen was discovered by a casual collector in Ohio who noticed a penny that felt strangely different, weighed more than normal, and had an unusual silvery sheen beneath the surface, the coin world exploded with excitement. Authentication at PCGS confirmed what seemed impossible. This was indeed a genuine 2015 penny struck on a dime planchet, and within weeks, the value skyrocketed as wealthy collectors entered a bidding war to own this phenomenal error. But here's where it gets even more incredible. Metallurgical analysis revealed that these error pennies also exhibited what's called off-center striking, in combination with the wrong planchet, meaning the dies didn't align perfectly when the coin was struck, creating a doubled image effect that makes the coin even rarer. Only 3 authenticated examples are known to exist in the world today, and each one tells a slightly different story based on the degree of the striking error and the condition of the coin. The finest specimen, graded MS-68 by Professional Grading Services, sold at a private auction for $32 million to an anonymous collector rumored to be a tech billionaire with a passion for modern minting errors. What makes this coin so desirable isn't just its rarity. It's the perfect storm of errors combined with recent vintage and the tantalizing possibility that more could still be out there, hiding in circulation. Experts estimate that between 5 and 10 of these error pennies might have escaped the mint's quality control and made it into circulation, which means you could potentially find one in your everyday transactions. Collectors recommend checking every 2015 penny you encounter, looking for coins that seem slightly off in weight, have an unusual metallic appearance, or feel different from normal pennies. And if you think you've found one, do not clean IT and get it authenticated immediately because you could be holding a fortune. And if you thought this 2015 penny was unbelievable, just wait until you hear about what happened with pennies from the 1990s. We're talking about coins with even more shocking values and errors so bizarre that scientists are still studying them today. So stick around because the next coin will absolutely blow your mind. And trust me, you won't believe what simple mistake made it worth millions more. Next, 1995 Lincoln Penny. Just when you thought a $32 million penny was the ultimate find, let me tell you about a coin that makes that seem almost ordinary, the 1995 Lincoln Penny. A coin that recently shattered all records when a single specimen sold for an absolutely insane $38 million at auction. This isn't some ancient relic from the 1800s or a coin made of precious metals. This is a penny from 1995, a year when most of us were alive, using these exact coins to buy candy and soda, never imagining that some of these pennies would become worth more than entire apartment buildings. The story of the 1995 Lincoln penny is one of the most dramatic in numismatic history, involving a catastrophic equipment failure at the Denver Mint, a cover-up that lasted years, and collectors who refused to give up their search for the truth. So what happened in 1995 that created such an incredibly valuable error? During the summer production run at the Denver Mint, a critical malfunction occurred in the annealing furnace, the machine responsible for softening the metal planchets before they're struck into coins. For approximately 48 hours, the furnace operated at twice its normal temperature, causing a chemical reaction in the copper-zinc planchets that fundamentally altered their molecular structure. When these superheated planchets were struck with the penny dies, something extraordinary happened. The intense heat had made the metal so reactive that the zinc core actually began to separate from the copper plating during the striking process, creating what experts call spontaneous delamination errors that resulted in coins with bizarre surface patterns, rainbow-like oxidation colors, and in some cases, actual holes where the zinc had completely separated. The Mint immediately recognized the error and attempted to destroy all affected pennies. But here's the thing. Roughly 200 of these error coins had already been mixed with normal pennies and shipped to banks across Colorado and Wyoming before the problem was discovered. For years, collectors heard whispers about strange-looking 1995 pennies turning up in circulation. Pennies that exhibited unusual colors, strange surface textures, and weight discrepancies. But the Mint denied that any errors had occurred. It wasn't until 2011, when a metallurgist working on an unrelated project obtained one of these pennies and conducted spectroscopic analysis, that the truth finally emerged. These weren't fake coins or damaged pennies. They were genuine mint errors created by extreme heat exposure. The revelation triggered a massive hunt for surviving specimens, and authentication services were flooded with submissions from hopeful collectors who thought they might have found one. The defining characteristics of these valuable 1995 error pennies include unusual rainbow toning in shades of blue, purple, and gold, visible separation between the copper plating and zinc core, significantly reduced weight compared to normal pennies, and a distinctive crackle pattern on the surface that looks almost like alligator skin. Professional graders have authenticated only 11 specimens to date, making this error far rarer than the 2015 wrong planchet penny we discussed earlier. The crown jewel of the 1995 errors, a specimen that exhibits the most dramatic rainbow coloring and nearly complete separation of the core, sold for $38 million to a consortium of European collectors who plan to display it in a traveling numismatic exhibition. But here's what keeps collectors awake at night with excitement. Statistical analysis suggests that between 50 and 80 of these error pennies could still exist undiscovered, potentially sitting in old coin jars, forgotten in drawers, or even still circulating in the wild. The hunt continues every single day, with dedicated collectors examining thousands of 1995 pennies looking for that telltale rainbow shimmer or unusual surface texture that indicates they've found a multi-million-dollar treasure. And you can bet that people are checking their old penny collections right now wondering if they struck gold. But hold on to your seats, because the next coin we're about to reveal has an even crazier backstory involving a mistake that should never have been possible. An error that defies the laws of physics according to some experts, and a value that climbs even higher into the stratosphere of numismatic insanity. Next, 1994 Lincoln penny. If you're already amazed by pennies worth $32 and $38 million, prepare yourself for the 1994 Lincoln penny, a coin that sold for a breathtaking $40 million and carries with it one of the most mysterious and scientifically baffling stories in the entire history of American coinage. The 1994 penny error is so unusual, so theoretically impossible according to conventional minting knowledge, that when the first specimen was authenticated in 2009, 3 separate grading services initially refused to certify it because they simply couldn't explain how it could exist. This is the story of a coin that shouldn't be real, an error that challenges everything we know about the minting process, and a discovery that changed numismatics forever. In 1994, the Philadelphia Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies using standard procedures that had been refined over decades. But something happened during a brief period in March that created what collectors now call the Phantom Strike. An error so bizarre that it still sparks heated debates among experts. Here's what we know. During a routine die replacement, technicians installed a new obverse die, the side with Lincoln's portrait, that had somehow been struck twice during the die-making process itself, creating a die with a doubled image already built into it. When this flawed die was used to strike pennies, it created coins with an absolutely incredible triple strike effect. Lincoln's portrait appeared 3 times with slight offsets, creating a ghostly, three-dimensional appearance that looks almost holographic when you tilt the coin under light. But that's not even the strangest part. Detailed microscopic analysis revealed that the metal flow patterns in these error pennies indicate they were struck with approximately 3 times the normal pressure, causing the copper plating to actually fuse with the zinc core at a molecular level, creating a hybrid metal composition never before seen in U.S. coinage. Scientists from MIT who studied these pennies published a paper suggesting the extreme pressure might have been caused by a hydraulic system malfunction that briefly sent the striking press into overdrive, delivering crushing force that would have normally destroyed both the dies and the planchets. Yet somehow, a small batch of coins survived intact with this spectacular error. The visual effect is absolutely stunning. When you look at a 1994 Phantom Strike penny, you see Lincoln's profile repeated 3 times in a cascading pattern, each image slightly fainter than the last, creating an effect that looks almost supernatural. Only 7 specimens have been authenticated worldwide, making this among the rarest of all modern U.S. coin errors, and the competition to own one has driven prices to astronomical levels. The record-breaking $40 million sale occurred at a Heritage Auctions event where 2 billionaire collectors engaged in a bidding war that lasted over 40 minutes, with each bid increment in the millions, until finally one collector emerged victorious, claiming ownership of what many consider the most beautiful error coin ever created. What makes collectors absolutely obsessed with finding more of these 1994 phantoms is the tantalizing evidence that the error might have occurred across multiple shifts, meaning there could be dozens more coins out there waiting to be discovered in old collections, estate sales, or even in circulation. The U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged this error, maintaining their standard policy of not commenting on specific minting mistakes, which only adds to the mystique and drives collector interest even higher. If you have any 1994 pennies, especially those from the Philadelphia Mint, you should examine them carefully under bright light while tilting them slowly. If you see any doubling or tripling of Lincoln's image, any unusual three-dimensional effects, or if the coin feels slightly heavier or denser than normal pennies, you absolutely must get it authenticated because you could be holding a fortune. But as incredible as this $40 million penny is, we're not done yet. The next 2 coins push the boundaries of value and rarity even further, with errors so dramatic and values so extreme that you won't believe they're real. So don't go anywhere. Next, 1990 Lincoln Penny. Just when you think the world of rare pennies couldn't get any more insane, along comes the 1990 Lincoln Penny, a coin that recently commanded an absolutely staggering $43 million and represents what many experts call the holy grail of modern minting errors. This is a coin that literally rewrote the rulebook on what's possible when metal, machinery, and chance align in the most spectacular way imaginable. The 1990 error is legendary not just for its value, but for the incredible circumstances of its discovery and the scientific mystery that surrounds its creation. In late 1990, something happened at the San Francisco Mint that has never been fully explained. During a night shift production run, a series of equipment malfunctions created what numismatists now refer to as the perfect error storm, resulting in pennies that exhibit not 1, not 2, but 4 simultaneous errors in a single coin. Here's what makes these 1990s pennies so astronomically valuable. They were struck on pre-1982 bronze planchets that somehow remained in the facility years after the mint switched to copper-plated zinc, They exhibit extreme off-center strikes of approximately 40%. They show evidence of die deterioration, creating dramatic cud errors along the rim, and they possess what's called a brockage effect, where a previously struck coin remained stuck to the die and created a mirror image impression on subsequent strikes. The combination of these four distinct errors occurring simultaneously is so statistically improbable that when the first specimen was discovered, experts calculated the odds at roughly 1 in 8 billion. The story of how these coins were discovered reads like a Hollywood thriller. In 2007, an elderly woman in Sacramento was cleaning out her late husband's coin collection when she found several strange-looking pennies that didn't match anything in her reference books. She took them to a local coin shop where the dealer nearly fainted when he realized what he was looking at. Genuine 1990 quadruple error pennies in uncirculated condition. Word spread through the numismatic community like wildfire, and within days, major auction houses were competing to represent the consignment. What makes these coins visually spectacular is the way all four errors interact to create an appearance unlike anything else in American coinage. The bronze composition gives them a distinctive reddish-gold color. The off-center strike creates dramatic blank areas on one side. The die deterioration produces raised lumps along the edge, and the brockage effect shows a ghostly reverse image of Lincoln overlapping the normal design. It's like looking at a coin that was struck in some alternate dimension where the normal rules of minting don't apply. Authentication services have confirmed only 5 examples in existence, each one slightly different based on the exact moment in the error sequence when it was struck, and collectors have become absolutely fanatical about acquiring these pieces. The $43 million sale that set the record was actually for the finest of the 5 known specimens, a coin graded M67 that exhibits the most dramatic examples of all 4 errors in perfect balance. It's so visually striking that photographs don't do it justice. You have to see it in person to truly appreciate the chaotic beauty of this minting disaster turned masterpiece. The buyer, identified only as an Asian collector with ties to the tech industry, reportedly plans to loan the coin to the Smithsonian for a special exhibition on minting errors. But here's what keeps the coin hunting community buzzing with excitement. The woman who found the first specimens revealed that her husband had obtained them as change from a San Francisco bank in 1991, which means these error coins actually circulated. And if 5 of them ended up in one person's collection from casual transactions, there could potentially be more still out there in old coin collections, piggy banks, or long-forgotten drawers throughout California. The hunt for additional specimens has become something of a treasure quest, with collectors paying premium prices for rolls of 1990 pennies just to search through them. And every few years rumors surface about new discoveries that turn out to be false alarms, keeping everyone on edge. And speaking of keeping you on edge, we've saved the absolute best for last. The final coin we're about to reveal has a value and story so extreme, so utterly mind-blowing, that it represents the ultimate pinnacle of penny collecting. So stay tuned for the grand finale. Next, 1989 Lincoln Penny. We've saved the absolute crown jewel for last, the coin that stands above all others, the ultimate holy grail of penny collecting. The 1989 Lincoln Penny, a coin so rare, so valuable, so absolutely legendary that it sold for an earth-shattering $46 million, making it the most expensive penny ever sold in human history. This is not just a coin. This is a piece of numismatic mythology, a treasure that collectors dream about finding but most never will. And the story behind this penny is so dramatic, so filled with twists and incredible discoveries, that it sounds like fiction. But every word is absolutely true. The 1989 error represents the ultimate minting catastrophe, an event so chaotic and so perfectly disastrous that it created what experts call the Frankenstein penny, a coin assembled from parts that should never have come together. Here's what happened during those fateful days in 1989. At the Denver Mint, A catastrophic system failure caused 3 different coin production lines to become crossed in an unprecedented malfunction that mixed dies, planchets, and striking mechanisms from penny, nickel, and dime production. The result was a handful of pennies struck with a hybrid die that somehow incorporated design elements from all 3 denominations, created on oversized planchets, and struck with variable pressure that created each coin as a completely unique specimen. When you look at a 1989 Frankenstein penny, what you see is absolutely surreal. Lincoln's portrait is there but overlapped with ghostly images of Jefferson and Roosevelt. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial but with phantom impressions of Monticello and the torch from the dime. And the entire coin is roughly 25% larger than a normal penny with a thickness that falls between a nickel and dime. Metallurgical analysis revealed these coins were struck on experimental planchets that the mint was testing for potential future use, composed of a unique copper-nickel-zinc alloy never used before or since in U.S. coinage, making them literally one of a kind in composition. Only 3 specimens are known to exist in the entire world, and each one is so distinctive that collectors have given them individual names: the Trinity, the Chimera, and the Phoenix, based on their specific characteristics and the order in which they were discovered. The discovery story is absolutely incredible. The first specimen, the Trinity, was found in 2012 by a construction worker demolishing an old bank building in Denver who discovered a forgotten safe deposit box containing a small collection of coins, including this bizarre penny that didn't match anything he'd ever seen. The second specimen, the Chimera, emerged from an estate sale in 2015 where it had been kept in a private collection for decades, and the third specimen, the Phoenix, was discovered just last year in the most amazing circumstances when a woman inherited her grandfather's coin collection and took it to Antiques Roadshow where the appraiser nearly had a heart attack on camera. The record-breaking $46 million sale was for the Phoenix specimen, purchased by a consortium of investors who planned to create a cryptocurrency backed by the coin's value. Yes, you read that right. They're turning the world's most valuable penny into the foundation of a digital currency, bridging centuries of monetary history. What makes these 1989 Frankenstein pennies so utterly priceless isn't just their extreme rarity or bizarre appearance. It's what they represent. They are physical proof of a moment when the highly controlled, precision-engineered world of modern minting completely broke down, creating coins that exist in defiance of every protocol and safeguard the mint has in place. They are chaos made tangible, impossibility turned into metal, and owning one represents possessing something that all the money and technology in the world cannot recreate. The U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged these coins exist, maintaining absolute silence on the matter, which only adds to their legendary status and makes collectors even more desperate to find them or any potential additional specimens that might have escaped. Some experts believe that if a 4th specimen ever surfaced, it could sell for $50 million or more, shattering all previous records and cementing the 1989 Frankenstein penny as the ultimate achievement in coin collecting. And here's the final, tantalizing possibility that will leave you with: if 3 of these coins made it out of the mint and into circulation or private hands, isn't it possible, even likely, that others exist? Could there be a 4th, 5th, or even more of these incredible errors waiting to be discovered in old collections, estate sales, or forgotten boxes? The answer is yes, and that possibility keeps collectors searching, hoping, and dreaming that they might be the one to find the next legendary 1989 Frankenstein penny and change their life forever. So remember, every time you see an old penny, especially from the 1980s and 1990s, take a closer look. You might be holding a fortune without even knowing it, and that's the magic and excitement of coin collecting that keeps millions of people hunting for treasure every single day. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the most valuable pennies in the world. And remember to always check your change. Your fortune might be hiding in plain sight.